Hello everybody, we are here in the birthplace of California, also known as Old Town San Diego. And behind me is the notorious Whaley House, and according to Travel Channel, America's most haunted house. And today we are here to investigate. But unfortunately, we cannot go inside due to the pandemic that's going on right now. But we're still gonna go investigate the area, try to get us a glimpse of inside as much as possible, and let's try to get to the bottom. Is the Whaley House truly, does it live up to its name as the most haunted house in America? Stay tuned and let's find out together.
Built by a man named Thomas Whaley in 1857 in the area now known as Old Town San Diego, the Whaley House is considered to be one of the first brick houses built in San Diego, and was once considered to be one of the finest in Southern California. The bricks were produced at Whaley's very own kiln in Old Town, and the walls were plastered with ground-up seashells. Between 1869 and 1870, the first floor of the house was used as a courthouse, and the upstairs as San Diego's first commercial theater and meeting rooms for the County Board of Supervisors.
Unfortunately, due to the COVID pandemic, the Whaley House is closed today, but that's not going to stop us. We're still going to investigate the area, we're going to tell its story, and we're going to give you an idea whether if this place maybe is haunted or it's not.
The Whaleys lived in the house up until 1885 when they moved to a new home close by. The house itself is built on a former graveyard, and part of the first floor served as a general store. The house is considered to be haunted, with Life magazine calling it the most haunted house in America. After the house was constructed, the Whaleys reported hearing heavy footsteps which they believed to be that of James Yankee Jim Robinson, who had been hanged on the property for stealing a boat.
One of the entities that is said to haunt here is that of Yankee Slim Jim. And the reason why people think that Yankee Slim Jim haunts here is because, well, a long time ago in the 1800s, this house was not here yet. Old Town was here, but Thomas Whaley had not built this house yet. And this plot of land used to be an execution ground for the town. So Yankee Slim Jim was charged with grand larceny and theft, and he was put to death over here. And the reason why people think that he haunts over here is because, well, he was hung right behind me, right here where this living room is. There's a living room beyond this wall, and people report seeing a tall shadow of a man in the middle of the living room. And Yankee Slim Jim was a tall man, so it is said that it is him that haunts the living room area right here. And he is also buried at the local cemetery down the street.
Yankee Jim, a small-time criminal, was caught stealing a rowboat in the San Diego Bay, and sadly for him, the men he was with only got a year in prison while Jim himself was hanged for the crime. At the time, the average height of a man was 5 feet 5 inches, but Yankee Jim stood at a towering 6 feet 4 inches. The gallows he was hung from was just a tiny bit taller than him, making his hanging a struggle for the tall criminal. Usually, hanging by a rope is supposed to snap the criminal's neck, killing them instantly, but instead, Yankee Jim was hung and left to hang by his toes for a whopping 45 minutes before he was pronounced dead. He is currently interred at the El Campo Santo Cemetery just a few blocks away from the Whaley House. Visitors to the now museum report seeing apparitions of Thomas and his wife Anna Whaley. Others report hearing strange noises and sights, and the ghost of Yankee Jim is one of the earliest documented ghosts at the house. One such paranormal encounter involves a little girl about 5 or 6 years old who waved to a man that was standing in the parlor. Nobody in the room could see the figure but the little girl. Other visitors claimed to see Thomas Whaley on the upper landing wearing a frock coat and pantaloons. When the visitor attempted to get a look at the apparition's face, it turned away and faded out. An apparition of a young girl is claimed to be seen in the dining room, and a psychic named Sybil Leek encountered the spirit during a visit to the house in the 60s. It was a long-haired girl, Sybil said. She was very quick, in a longish dress, and she went to the table in this room, and I went to the chair. Urban legend has it that this is the ghost of a playmate of the Whaley children who had accidentally broke her neck on a low-hanging clothesline in the backyard, and whose name was either Annabelle or Carrie Washburn.
Another very active entity that is said to haunt the Whaley House is right here to my right, and what is known as the Whaley Kitchen. And the Whaley Kitchen is definitely creepy for me because according to the rumors and the legend here, it's that a little girl and a dog haunt right here for some reason. And according to the house guides, they don't know where this little girl might have came from. The Whaleys never had a little girl here. So they're wondering where this little girl came from. And also this dog. But according to reports, a little girl appears right here under the table sometimes, as well as a dog.
There's no historic records of any child dying this way at the Whaley House, nor is there any record of any family named Washburn residing in San Diego at the time. It is believed that the legend was started by a one-time employee of the Whaley House in an effort to add to the house's mystique.
I'm feeling a little spooky right now because a famous entity that haunts here is that of Violet Whaley. And the reason why Violet Whaley is said to haunt here is because, well, unfortunately, tragically, she committed suicide here in this house. She actually was here one night behind me in the Whaley shed, and she had her father's gun and she shot herself, but she was still alive. And so Thomas Whaley heard the gunshot and rushed out here and came into the shed and horrifically saw his daughter there with blood, and he picked her up and brought her into the house as fast as he could. But unfortunately, the damage had been done, and Violet Whaley lost her life inside of the Whaley house.
On January 5th, 1882, one of Thomas Whaley's daughter, Violet Eloise Whaley, married a man by the name of George T. Bertolacci. 2 weeks after their wedding, as they were traveling back east on their honeymoon, she woke up only to find her husband had left her, and it turned out that she had married a con artist. Because of how society functioned at the time, she was shunned by society when she returned home without her husband and unchaperoned. Violet was unable to recover from her public humiliation and betrayal, falling into a deep depression. She committed suicide by shooting herself in the chest with her father's .32 caliber on August 18, 1885, at the age of 22. Her suicide note read, "Mad from life's history, swift to death's mystery, glad to be hurled anywhere, out of this world." Her note was a passage from the poem by Thomas Hood called Bridge of Sighs, and coincidentally, our visit to the location landed on the anniversary of her death, which may explain the unusual events that occurred to us that evening. The Whaley House has been featured in countless television shows and documentaries, ghost hunting programs, and the likes, with some even calling it the most haunted house in America. Visitors have reported paranormal sightings, and the home itself is a host to paranormal investigations when it is open to the public on certain nights. Even though we could not fully experience everything that the site had to offer, we sure loved the teaser and cannot wait until the opportunity to return for a full investigation presents itself sometime in the future. Until then, stay safe, stay strange.